So feeding the paper, you'll just want to put it in the back of the machine until it feels like it's flat across the bottom. And then you can just use the right button on. Pull it up until you start to see it underneath there. And then what you can do is push that up, and then continue to roll it through. And then kind of give it a little tuck, and then pull this back down, and then now your paper is in place and you are ready to type. So from there, you would push your return lever all the way to the left, and that's going to set exactly where your left margin is in place. And if I were to move this all the way here, that would move all the way there as well. So here on your left, as well as the right, you've got carriage release. So if you press that, it releases the carriage strictly within the margins again. Same thing on the right side. And then here, you've got basically a free roll, which kind of allows you to do something a little more creative, like if you were to do typewriter art, things like that, or you need a very custom placement on a pre-filled form. Or you've got one line space, two line space, three line space, and four line space. And then, okay, so you finished your correspondence and you want to pull it out. You don't want to pull it out when it's taut. You want to press this paper release lever and you'll pull it towards you, and that will allow you to simply pull your paper out. And that's it. So here you've got where your paper feeds through, and I'll show you that in a second. You want to adjust the paper roller guides, or holders, wherever your margin is. So this is the left-hand margin. If you were to move that here, you'd want to move this. And then same thing on the right. If you move the right margin, you'd want to move this. And that basically just ensures that the paper, depending on the width of the paper, stays in place as you sort of either roll through with a knob or you use the actual return lever. And the last thing is for this particular area, or second to last, is the paper guide here, where depending on where the edge of your paper is, it just ensures that the paper stays straight. And again, you can move that depending on wherever your left margin is, and that's that feature. And then lastly, you have the paper table arms, which extend up and basically allow your paper to sit upright as opposed to falling over the back of your machine. So when you receive this machine in the case, the carriage will be locked, and also the return lever will be flipped up. So first thing you want to do is press this little lever here down, and that is going to unlock your carriage. So now it is free to use. And the second thing you're going to want to do is pull the return lever towards you, and now it's ready for use. Here's the hood. Basically this has your type bars and your ink ribbons underneath there. So to open this up, you want to hold here and then kind of put some leverage pressure there and then pull up, and it will pop right out. There's basically little hinges in there, so when you slide that back into place, it sort of looks something like this, where you kind of want to go in at an angle and then you press it back down in place. So pretty simple. And then obviously you've got your ink ribbons here, and right now they're going from the right side to the left side, and if you did want to switch that position on either side, you can press this little piece here, and you'll kind of see that switch back and forth, kind of like a windshield wiper, and that will basically switch the direction. So now it should go left or right. So, and that basically creates longevity within the ink ribbon. And I think this machine has an automatic directional switch, so once you reach the end of a spool, once this basically goes all the way from here to here, it should automatically go back. And you'll know you'll need a new ink ribbon when you're not really getting nice crisp imprints. And the ink ribbon on this machine is brand new and really should last, depending on how much writing you're doing, a couple hundred pages. So, hey, I wanted to give you a quick overview of your machine. So here at the bottom, you've got your keyboard, and then you've got your hood, which comes off, and then you also have your carriage. And I'll kind of go through all the buttons and levers and things like that. So obvious things are all of the keys that are labeled. The numbers or numerals or characters on the bottom are what you'll type as is. And then for any of these characters up at the top, that's going to be in shift mode, so you can hit shift here and then press a key, or alternatively, you can press the shift hold key or shift lock key which basically forces it for all uppercase characters, and then all of the top characters or numerals or fractions or special characters up here, as well as over here. Okay, to undo shift lock, just press the left shift key, and then over here on the right hand side you've got your backspace, and then here this big red key, that's your tab. So when you press that, it will go all the way to the end. And obviously I pressed it once and it kind of stopped halfway through, and that's because there's a tab set, and I'll show you how to use that in a minute too. All the way to the right here you've got your color selector. Blue is black, white is stencil, which basically means it does not use ink, and then it's primarily used for carbon paper back in the day. And then red is red, so you just kind of move this lever up and down to your desired color. Over here on the left, this is your margin release key. So we've reached the end of the margin based on this key here, your tab stop, or your margin stop rather. But if we wanted to continue typing, we would press the margin release key, and you'll see the carriage advance one character. And now we can continue typing beyond where we've set our margins. And then this key over here, this left key, sets your tab stops as well as clears your tab stops. So you can kind of use this key in conjunction with the tab key.